So recently a new Star Wars game was announced, that being Star Wars Outlaws, that is being developed by Ubisoft, and the gameplay walkthrough did something quite incredible. The game actually looks fun to play. So in this video I'll just be going over my thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws. If you have any thoughts yourself, leave them in the comments below, and while you're down there, why not like and subscribe, as I will also be doing similar videos to this one for Assassin's Creed Mirage and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, as well as for any other games that interest me in the future. So I think let's start off with the big elephant in the room, and that is that the game is being developed by Ubisoft. Now, over the past, let's say, decade, Ubisoft hasn't had the best reputation, but the team that is making this game I do have faith in, as the team that is making this is Ubisoft Massive, who previously made both The Division 1 and 2, which I never actually played, but I believe they were third-person cover-based shooters, so I kind of have some knowledge of third-person combat for Star Wars Outlaws, and they can use their kind of knowledge of third-person combat from the Division games to kind of just use in Star Wars Outlaws. Also, Ubisoft Massive are also the team behind the upcoming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. The fact that this team are the ones that are going to be making both the games that are part of franchises that are quite well known, it's interesting to me, as why would Ubisoft task this one team to make them unless they had faith in them? So I'm hoping that with the release of both these games, they will help to transform Ubisoft's reputation, and hopefully the games will be good. That is genuinely the bottom line that I am setting for any Ubisoft game these days. I just hope the game is good and fun to play and keeps me engaged for longer than, let's say, 10 hours. So the game is scheduled for a 2024 release date. That is all we know at this time. We can only assume when it's going to come out. Maybe summer, maybe during the holiday season, or maybe if we're really lucky, it'll be within the first couple of months, as at a recent earnings call, I believe Ubisoft said they had a big game coming out before the end of the fiscal year, which, if you don't know, ends March of the next year. So 2023's current fiscal year is April 2023 to March 2024. So if we're lucky, we could see the game come out in the first couple of months of 2024. But personally, I think it will be maybe a holiday release of 2024. Unless they're planning to have an Assassin's Creed game come out during the holidays season, then it could be any time during the year. But I'm sure we'll find out more very soon, as I believe the game has been confirmed to appear at San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm sure there we will get maybe another trailer, possibly a bit more gameplay, and fingers crossed the release date. The game has been confirmed to launch on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. No word has been said about if the game will release on last gen, that being PS4, Xbox One and Switch. I'm going to say if they didn't confirm last gen versions when the game was announced, then there's a high chance that you won't see it released on last gen. So strangely enough, you can't actually pre-order Star Wars Outlaws, which I find a bit odd, but going by other Ubisoft games, I'm going to assume that there'll be 3 or 4 different versions. The base version will cost around $70 or £70. There will be a special edition that will include the base game plus a special cosmetic item that will be select to certain retailers. There'll probably be a gold edition that will include all the previous stuff mentioned plus the season pass. And then there will be an ultimate edition that will include the base game, the special edition item, the season pass and the ultimate pack. And I'm going to guess that there will be a collector's edition as well that will include all the stuff of the Ultimate Edition plus some physical items, maybe a statue or maybe like some other things as well, but we'll have to just wait and see until those things are actually announced. Another thing that hasn't been confirmed but I strongly assume will be there is microtransactions, as if you've played any Ubisoft game in the past 5 years, you will know that they love microtransactions. Look at the Assassin's Creed games, for example, with their Helix store. I'm going to guess there'll be a similar variant of that in Outlaws. Maybe you can buy special outfits for Kay, who is the main character. Maybe you can get different parts for the ship. I'm going to guess it will be like in the Star Wars Jedi games, where you can get different outfits for Cal, BD-1 the droid and the ship. I'm guessing there'll be something similar for that in Outlaws. So let's talk a bit about the story of the game. We don't currently know much. We know that you play as Vess, who is a scoundrel who is brand new to Star Wars world. We know that she has a companion called Nyx, who is adorable, and you can semi-control them as well. As we saw in the gameplay walkthrough, he can be used to assist in puzzles, but we're not entirely sure what else he can assist with. I'm guessing it'll be quite limited because obviously he's only a small little alien, but I'm sure he will capture a lot of people's hearts and the internet will most likely fall in love with him. Another thing that we do know is that the game is set in between The Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, and actually during the trailer we saw Han Solo frozen in carbonite, so will he potentially have a role to play in the story? I'm not too sure. He might. Maybe Kay will be responsible for transporting him to Jabba. Honestly, I have no idea. Speaking about the gameplay, it was actually the most surprising part for me, as it looked really fun. During it we saw that Kay's blaster has different settings, so there's one that can be used to go through enemy shields, there can be like a normal blaster, and so on and so forth. Also, she has a speeder, which that section looked very good. Like you could, like if you paused it, you could see quite a lot of detail, as you could see the residents of the planet watching what was going on with Kay zooming past. You could see all the foliage on the ground beside Kay kind of was affected by the wind, and the whole world looked quite tangible, which I know for some other Ubisoft games can't be said. Cough cough Valhalla. And the last bit of gameplay I want to talk about is actually Kay's ship, which looks incredible. Like, it looks really fun to play. You can have combat in the ship, and also you can use the hyperdrive, which surprisingly enough does not trigger a load screen, which I was quite pleased by. Now I'm gonna assume that the duration of the light speed will act as a loading screen, like for example in say God of War, when you're going through them corridors sliding sideways, that is a way of hiding a loading screen. I'm guessing the light speed will act in a similar way to that. But the fact that there wasn't any visible load screens in the gameplay walkthrough is quite good to see, and hopefully that means there'll be no load screens in the game. And also the fact that there is combat in the ship is also very impressive, as Ubisoft Massive didn't have to do that. They could have just done what the Star Wars Jedi games do and have the ship solely just for getting you place to place. But the fact that they've added combat to me is a great idea, and it shows that the team has a lot of passion behind it and they feel confident in the mechanics they have made for the game. So to briefly summarise my thoughts, I think the game will be fun. I mean, judging by the gameplay walkthrough, the game looks fun to play, and as it's a Ubisoft game, that is quite surprising, and I'm just very interested to get my hands on it and see more of it. When the game releases, I will be doing a first look, so if you want to see that, please subscribe so you'll be notified when that is posted. And I'll also be doing more videos when more information about the game comes out, so subscribe to see those, and why not stick around as well, because I'll be doing similar videos to this on both Assassin's Creed Mirage as well as Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and also when the Assassin's Creed Jade game comes out, I'll be doing a first look for that as well. Also, if you have any thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws at all, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will try my best to get back to you. So that's all for this video, and I will see you next time.